In this video, Daily Race A, we have spinning cars at Tsukuba. Daily Race B, we have some intense racing with a little bit of crashing at Watkins, Glen. And Daily Race C, well, dirty air and a big crash as Key gets taken out. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025, week 15. And this one we've got a whole load of oversteer in Daily Race A that you can see in the background right now. Now we're doing 7 laps here at Tsukuba. It's a rolling start, sports medium tyres, and we are in that Amuse S2000. It's got tons of power, mainly due to the turbo, and you'll be suffering a whole load of oversteer as you drive this thing. Now, if you don't like this race, you can jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively using the timestamps in the background there. And I can imagine quite a few of you doing that this week because this car is quite a handful. However, we have a look at the key statistics then. So we've used this track 13 times. We've never done this track and car combo together. We last used this track on the 20th of January then 2025. Now in terms of issues, drifting everywhere I've put here because you will literally be drifting. It's hard to control, however I will tell you how, and gears are very much critical as you'll see in the race. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race. Let's have a look exactly what happens as well as a lap guide in case you do want to do this race, and it will help improve your lap time. Here we are then at the start of the race. Kiwi once again in here, starting on pole position. We're starting all the way down in P number 10, and we're starting on the corner, which is really annoying, especially in this car. And you can see the throttle control I'm having to do there just to make sure I stay straight and true and actually start the race on lap number 1. It's going to head in towards turn number 1 then, and up ahead. Everybody goes a little bit wider there. So I take the inside line here on Mario Sonic, and look at that. Gears matter. We stayed in 4th gear. We don't have to change gear. We're already up a position then as we head towards the left-hander here at Tsukuba. Shadow goes a little bit wider, so we get on the inside of Shadow. We exit once again in 4th gear. We're going to go in towards the right, though, side by side as we go through here. Rubbing a little bit there. Nothing major here, but we are up into P8 then as we continue on through, making progress very quickly in this race as we go into the hairpin then. Once again, a little bit of rubbing. Nothing major here as we continue out the corner. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle, but we stay in 4th gear there. We've got Wolf on the inside as we head towards the final corner. Wolfpack's out of this one then, Wolfpack, and as we go into here, we've gained, what, 3 positions in the first lap alone, so good progress so far. And this is all because I got used to the gears very quickly and how to handle this car, and I will explain how to do that in the track guide after this race then. So in towards turn number 1 we go. Huggy up ahead then, and Huggy goes a little bit deep, so we get on that inside line. We exit there. Huggy unfortunately gets a bootload of oversteer. We don't know because we are in 4th gear as we advance to lap number 3. Sonic now up ahead, Hamburger ahead of them. As we go through this left-hander, you can see the oversteer there from Sonic. I do believe that's gear-related once again. It's critical you get these gears right. Look at that. I'm in 5th gear, solo in the revs, but that does mean I can control the car that bit more than as we head towards the hairpin. Then Sonic on the inside. I'm on the outside here. Very hard to actually get the move done, so I'm going to go for a cutback as we continue on out here. And listen to the engine difference here. Notice the gear shift there from Sonic. I didn't have to do that until later on, and that's how he gets a clean position pass then up into P5. We have Hamburger up ahead then, who submitted plenty of plebs of the week. That's still not going at the moment, just due to time with the little one at the moment. So plebs of the week not happening. Hamburger goes deep there as we exit this corner. We're going to head in towards the right-hander, and they maintain position. Now we're going to have a fantastic race here with Hamburger, and you're going to see some side-by-side racing, which I think will be very, very, very difficult to do here at Tsukuba on this Daily Race A combo. Leave the last corner then, and we'll see if there's any gear shift changes there. And you just saw it there. Hamburger got a bit better getaway initially, then the gear change. You can see how close we got very quickly as we head towards the final corner. Then we're on the outside right now. Very hard to actually get the position here. Hamburger giving me some space as we continue on through, and they actually defend that beautifully. Look at that. Really well played to GSP. Hamburger then as we head towards turn number 1. I noticed we went a bit deep here, so I'm going for that little bit of a cutback on the inside if we can. We just get in there. Look at that. Just enough room for an Amuse S2000. And once again, we've got the gear right there as we head in towards the hairpin. However, we go a little bit deep here. We're in 3rd gear. We short shift to 4th. Hamburger on the inside line then as we leave this corner. We accelerate towards the next one. Once again, a higher gear. Help me out massively there. Maintaining that overlap as we continue on through. But what brilliant racing this is. It really is. Well played to Hamburger with this one as we head down in towards the hairpin. Beautiful defensive line there from the German driver as we continue on out of here. Once again, gears matter. And you can see Hamburger change gear. I don't have to. And I go clean on by then. Finally into P4. But what racing that was. It really was. I don't think many of those will happen this week for anybody, really. But hey, I'm happy we got it in this video. So we continue on through here. We're just going to advance a bit further then in terms of the race. On to the final lap. We got Sparks Fury up ahead on the inside of Blue Racer in towards turn 1. Sparks taking that inside line. I'm looking to follow suit then as we continue on through here. A little bit of a tag there. Nothing major. Plenty of space given. We're up into P3 then on the podium as we fast forward here and head towards the end of the race. And Sparks Fury goes a little bit deep there at the hairpin. I can't get on the inside though, unfortunately. So we continue on out. We've got yellow flags up ahead. We're going to get on the inside. I think these two have given up there. That's Mario Sonic. And I think Huggy's given up as well. We'll look at the bloopers for some of that though. And we are side by side heading in towards the last corner. Are we going to get it done? We keep it nice and tight there. Sparks Fury looking for that cutback. Not going to work because I maintained the inside line. We head towards line then. P2 in the end. I'm really happy with that one. And we had a good race there. I don't think it's the best of races though that Gran Turismo could have produced. Mainly because of the car, really. It's so hard to control. It really, really, really is. Not a high score there at all. And all the details for that score are down below in the pinned comment if you're interested on how I scored that race. Let's go into a lap guide then. Let me explain how you can control this car. So we're going to head towards turn number 1. And on the left-hand side here, we've got that escape road there. That is your brake marker for turn 1. You want to brake nice and early for this corner. Yes, you could brake a bit later and go for a V-shape. But the V-shape, in my opinion, doesn't work for turn number 1 in this car. You may have a different opinion. That's entirely up to you. These are just markers and guides if you want to follow them. So we stay in 4th gear here. And notice how we slow the car down. We let the car roll a little bit, then instantly on the throttle. Half throttle, then up. And then I'm going to lift a little bit. Notice how I came on and off the throttle there. Just a tiny bit. That gives you grip. I'm going to call it the turbo trick. I'll explain that a little bit more later on in the lap. This next hairpin then on the right side, I use the white to orange barrier on the right side. You can use to start the curb there as well, which is why I've highlighted it for you on the right hand side. And we're going to hit the brakes. And once again, we're going to use 4th gear for this corner. Now, if you're going a bit too quick, you can drop to 3rd and then back up to 4th. But notice how tight I'm keeping this. I'm trying to get around the corner as quick as I can. And then I accelerate out of the corner. We got kind of straight there, so I didn't have to do any tricks with the turbo. On the left-hand side, the start of the building there is my brake marker for this corner. But I'm going to do something very odd here. I'm going to hit the brakes and go up a gear, which is very unusual, I know. But you do this in order to then have a stable car on the exit rather than being in the power band in 4th gear. So there we go. We trail brake into the corner. We're in 5th gear now. Notice that the throttle control there, I lift a little bit, not even 100% there. And once I'm straight, I then go 100%. On the left-hand side here, we have this dark green marker on the left-hand side. The start of that is my brake marker for this hairpin. Once again, on the exit, you're going to be in 4th gear. You do not want to be any lower than that because the rear wheels will spin. And you saw in the race as well how you can gain positions where people don't do this. So lots of sneaky little tips here. So watch the throttle as well on exit here. Notice the change in throttle. I'm going to lift off a little bit and then go again. Didn't quite do it there, but that's how you do this. So the weird turbo trick with this one, okay? I'll explain after this brake marker on the right side. The billboard there, the final two on the right side. The first one is your brake marker. But the turbo trick is all about getting into the power band, letting off a little bit, let the tires grip, and then full throttle again. It just grips for days. It's a really, really, really nice trick to have in any car, not just this car. As we go into here, trail braking in 5th gear. Then we slow the car down. Again, we're going to balance the car a little bit on the throttle as we exit this corner. I don't go to 100% until I'm nearly straight there. And that's a 56.4. And you can follow that lap on the leaderboard if you have a look at the global leaderboard. Go to that lap time and you can follow the ghost if you want to. Jump to Daily Race B then, where we're in Group 3 machinery at Watkins, Glen. It's a full circuit here as well. We're doing 5 laps. It's a rolling start on racing medium tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance if you want in these Group 3 cars. Now, I chose the BMW M6, which you can see in the background. It's a very good car. It's always been a very good car, and it's always been good at Watkins, Glen as well. So the Keys to A6, we've used this track 14 times. We've only done this track and car combo 5 times, so it's not even a top 10 used combo. Last used this track on the 24th of February. However, this combo, we haven't used it in quite a while, believe it or not. I was surprised when I looked back at that. The chicane can be tricky here at Watkins Glen, especially if you're side by side, and it is one of the main overtaking spots just due to the slipstream as well. Let's jump into this race, which you can see in the background is very hectic, and let's find out exactly what happens. Here we are for the start of this one. We've got Kentish Gent in pole in the sprint model of this car. The Endurance and sprint model are a tiny bit different. Nothing insane, though. And if you're enjoying this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. We just made it through turn 1. Of course, the rolling start does mean not much happens on lap 1, turn 1. However, as we get to the chicane, that's where it does all start to kick off, of course, because we bunch up due to the slipstream. So through the chicane we go then, and you can see how much closer we've got. We've got Shelty in the distance in the Beetle. Nice to see Shelty again as we continue on through here. We've got lots of side-by-side action going on. We've got McLaren on the right, Blue Racer. Oh, no, it wasn't Blue Racer, actually. It was Bilton on the inside. It was two McLarens going at it there as we go through this long left-hander. So we're trying to place our car at the moment in the best situation we can. We've got a right-hander coming up. I thought, you know what? Let's get on the inside line here. Hopefully we can gain a position or two. We had to just slope a little bit more there than we intended. As we exit out of here then, Marisonic keeps that position. And look who's behind me right now. It's got Max Power looking to take full advantage of the outside lane there, maintaining that momentum as we go into this right-hander. Once again, I've got nowhere to go there. Marisonic looked on the inside, had to slope a bit more to make sure I didn't rear-end Marisonic. And you can see here, we've actually lost out there. We haven't gained any positions whatsoever, but it has been a fantastically entertaining first lap. Unfortunately, if you look in their area of view, somebody gets it slightly wrong there to Skelko, and they go for a spin. We'll have a look at the bloopers to find out exactly what happened with that car. But we'll continue on through here towards the end of lap number 1 now. In the big fight then, I'm not sure what position this is for. Definitely well inside the top 10, that is for sure, as we cross the line and start lap number 2 then, heading towards turn 1. This is a corner I would advise going for a move. You can see Marisonic thought about it, but backed out of it. Good decision in my opinion. Try and get the boost on the exit with a bit of slipstream as well. Shelty, unfortunately, on the right-hand side there, has made a small mistake, so we do gain a position from the Beetle driver as we head once again to the bus stop chicane. So in we go here, through the left we go. See, everybody's just fighting for trap position, and I was looking to get the inside, but Marisonic beat me to it there. So I slightly tap Marisonic. They get on the inside, the Sparks Fury here, and they do get that position as we continue on through there. Well, you're very welcome, Marisonic. You're very welcome indeed. So I was looking at the inside here of Sparks Fury. I can't quite see a gap there, so I have to stay behind them for now. But there's still a long train of cars, and a lot of this race still to go. 5 laps is a pretty good distance. However, I do feel it should have an additional lap in here. So through the right we go. We've got the inside of Sparks Fury. Oh, hello. We've got a Spanish driver hitting the barrier there, so we do gain a position. And Sparks Fury looking to get the position back off Mario Sonic then as we head towards the end of the lap here. Is Mario Sonic going to go back for it? No, Sparks Fury defends that very nicely indeed. Alex on the inside had to dab the brakes there to avoid pit maneuvering Mario Sonic as we advance to lap number 3 then. You can see how close we are. Again, I advise it going for the move into turn 1. You see that I was just lifting off there because there's no real point. If you go for the move on the inside, you compromise yourself, your opponent, and then you just lose the pack, and then it's just not good in the grand scheme of it. Mario Sonic here looking down the inside of Sparks Fury there. Slight tap. Not sure whether that move was on or not, but we're going to try and take full advantage of that one then. Going towards the left-hand side here. Sparks Fury going to send it. That is the question. No, Mario Sonic goes defensive there to keep that position for now. Now I'm trying around the outside here. Very hard to do. And you see Sparks Fury nails that beautifully, but we get a better run like Max Power did on lap number 1. Looking to get that advantage, use that momentum on the outside line as we go into the right-hander. But McLaren looking very strong indeed with this new bounce of performance. Shelty's back in the fight as well. Nice to see Shelty back in the mix here. It's always a dreaded thing there where you make a mistake and lose the pack, but we're all fighting quite hard here in this sprint race. You can catch up. Sparks Fury there just touching the barrier. That gives me a bit of an advantage then on the inside line. Through we go, finally up into P12, and we've got a bit of catching now to catch up to Mario Sonic. So lap number 4 here. Mario Sonic looking down the inside of Bilson there. And as we go into left, Bilson there just slow through the chicane, sorry. I just get compromised there through there. No real fault there. Bilson had nowhere to go. That is really annoying though, that penalty. I really don't get it. I don't even get a reason for that penalty. It just goes, here's 2 seconds for no obvious reason. Obviously, that ruined my race, unfortunately. Again, it wasn't Bilson's fault. It was just the way it was. There was nowhere for Bilson to go. Nowhere for me to go either with that one. But still, I think a fairly okay race here. 6.5 out of 10 is the rating I've given it. Once again, if you're interested in how those scores are given, I've got a system down below which you can check in the pinned comment. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but hopefully it keeps it the same over each and every week rather than being personal opinion. Right, here's a lap guide down. My brake balance down the right side, +3 there. So you can use the arm codes. It goes from 4 to 3 on the left-hand side. However, with this new bop, you can actually brake a little bit later now. So I'm actually using the 200 board, which you can see here on Chase Cam as well. And I'm braking that late for this corner. Now I stay in 3rd gear. You want to clip the inside. Don't go over the bumpy bit of the curb. And on the exit, as long as you stay on the orange and red curbing, or yellow and red, depending on your color on your screen right now, you are fine in terms of safety. If you go over that with 2 wheels, so your 4 wheels off that curb, you will get a penalty. Well, staying on that curb should be fine. It's very big as well. So we fast forward now towards the bus stop chicane, which is our next brake marker. Now, on the left-hand side, we've got the 300 board. That's what I was using here. You can use the Marshall box, believe it or not, but it's very hard to then nail the line. If you brake a bit earlier using the 300 board, you can get the line better and carry the momentum through the corner. I've said that word a lot today, haven't I? So that's what I'm going to do. 300 board here. I'm going to aim towards the inside, get very close to that barrier if I can. I can then straight line through the left-hander. Lovely jubbly, make it through the corner. Now, as we get to this long right-hander, the start of the curb there is your brake marker. You just want to dab the brakes a little bit, try and slow the car down a little bit, and then let the car roll through the corner. It's a long, long corner, this one. So it's not about hammering the brakes initially. It's about carrying the speed, let the downforce carry the car through the corner. Notice I was rolling a little bit. And then when we get to this escape road here, or the marshal box, which is the very late accelerating marker, these are your 2 accelerating markers. So I'm very close to the inside here. I'm about to touch the curb. I can hit the throttle now, and I should make it around this corner, especially in this BMW M6, which handles very good indeed. So that's what I'm going to do there. Full throttle, round the corner we go. Just be careful on exits. If you're not back on the track before the end of the curbing, you will get a track limit penalty there. The 200 board is your next brake marker here, and I like to aim towards the corner a little bit, and you can just see I started to do that right now as I go hard on the brakes. So the 200 board on the right-hand side, that's my brake marker, hard on the brakes. Going to drop a gear as well in this BMW. Most cars, you will drop a gear as well as we head towards the corner, but we stay out wide a little bit. We then try and bring it back, and this catch fence around the outside, the very end of it, as it hits the center of your screen, that is your accelerating marker. So as it hits the center, if you start accelerating, you should get around this corner absolutely fine. Now, arguably as well, you'll clip the curb, a very late apex, you could argue, on the inside, and that will definitely guarantee you will make this corner. But you can see I've made it there in this BMW M6. Continue towards this right-hander. Now, this right-hander is uphill, which means you can brake even later than normal. Remember, gravity will help you slow down when it's going uphill. So on the right side there, we've got the 100 board or the Gran Turismo 7 sign. As it hits the edge of your screen here, you're going to hit the brakes. But I want you to aim towards the corner once again, similar to the previous corner. If you aim towards it, notice that we can start turning in. Now, we have a bit too much of a tight line here. We do take it a bit too tight. Arguably, we should be a bit wider. That marshal box there is an accelerating marker you can use once again. There's quite a few of these around Watkins, Glen, which really does mean you can get very consistent lap times if you use these markers. So as that gets to the center of my screen, I really want to accelerate, but because I took a tight line, I had to delay it a little bit. Now, with the change in balance of performance, not as much power in these Group 3 cars, you don't have to really worry about the oversteer on the exit anymore. And, this car was suffered with it massively in the old BOP. In the new BOP, you just saw there, no real issues there at all. As we get to this right-hander then, the 200 board on the left-hand side is what I would advise using. I'm braking just after that because I'm not carrying as much speed as previous. As it disappears on the left-hand side, I'm going to hit the brakes. I'm going to drop to second gear initially here, and then I'll go up to third gear on throttle there, just to make sure I don't get any oversteer if some does exist, because there is a tiny bit still there. Uphill braking, so we can brake very late for this one. We've got a dead tree on the right-hand side, which we can use. Alternatively, you can use the 100 board, but it's before you get to it. It's just before you get to it. And similar to a couple of the corners we've just done previously, I want you to aim towards the corner. Don't brake in a straight line here. Turn towards the corner, then hit the brakes. Now, we stay out wide as long as we can, and we're looking for a marshal box that I've highlighted right there as my accelerating marker. I'm in third gear for this one. I don't want to clip the curb on the inside in the BMW. Some cars may like it. This BMW does not. If you clip the curb on the inside as you go on the throttle, you'll get a whole load of oversteer. It just unsettles the car too much. I avoid it, and there we go. Now, I get a little bit of a wiggle on the exit. Nothing major, though, as we continue towards this fast left. You got 200 boards here. You got the one on the left and the one on the right. These are your lift off and turn in markers. Now, I use the one on the left mainly just because it's close to the edge of my screen. The one on the right is just before you get to it, so choose what you want in that scenario. I'm going to lift off, turn in. As long as I clip the curb, I should be able to accelerate through the corner. There we go. And I continue on through. Head over towards the left-hand side very quickly. And the end of the tyre wall into the Armco is your final brake marker for this right-hander. In the BMW M6 Endurance model, I dropped to third gear. I would assume you do that in the Sprint model as well. Most cars, you will drop a gear here. The key thing to watch out for is going too far to the left and clipping your outside wheel on the grass. So don't do that. If you clip the curb like that, just accelerate. Your car will make it around absolutely fine. No understeer at all. We head towards the line then. You can follow this lap on the leaderboard. I think it's a 44.3. There you go. There's still time in that lap. But even so, there is a lap for you as we jump to Daily Race C. We're in Group 2. And you can see I've chosen the NSX 2016 car. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain that just now. We've got 12 laps here at Lago Maggiore, the full circuit, rolling start. Races soft and medium tyres, both are required. Times 1 fuel, times 2 tyre wear. And it's only the GT500 cars, the modern ones, that are selectable. So you're only going to see 3 cars available to choose from. But we've used this track 8 times. We've never done this track and car combo, which is good to see. And we last used this track on the 10th of March, literally last month. Issues. I've written one sentence there: dirty air. It's on real slipstream, which means the dirty air is big, absolutely massive in these cars. It does mean the racing isn't the greatest. However, it does mean strategy plays a big part. Let's jump into this race then, and let's have a look at the strategy I used, as well as any racing that can be had. Here we are then, and let's see who's on. Sammy Snake is back racing with us there, starting in P1. It is the Easter holidays here, so we're seeing a few more Brits here than normal. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content as we kick off this final race. So I'm starting on the racing mediums. That's what I normally advise people, in the fact that if you start on the harder compound, if you're towards the back, the softer compound towards the front, you can maximize each tyre accordingly. However, strategy is the name of the game in this race due to the dirty air. So we're on real slipstream right now, and it does mean dirty air in these Group 2 cars due to the amount of downforce they use. We go through that right-hander, and we're already starting to struggle a little bit here as we continue on out of there. We head towards the Banky Boy on lap number 1, and we look to get on the inside. Now, the second you're out of the dirty air, it's great. You've got so much turning ability, so you might want to try some alternative lines, but we pull back in here because we can't really go anywhere. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to pit at the end of this lap. So we're going to head down towards this final corner. And as we go through the left hand, I notice that I'm sticking towards the left. I notice the Italians coming in. So I'm like, oh no, I better not, because I'll be stuck in dirty air still. And the strategy's completely ruined. That, however, benefits Max Power, who goes around the outside there in that Nissan GTR as we go in towards turn 1 side by side. And he nails it. What a move there. Opportunistic driving. Perfect move by Max Power, because he had me twice today in this video. Now, when I do these races, I'll start with C and go back to B and then A. So, arguably, this is the first time Max Power had me, but in the video, it's the second. Unfortunately, Max Power hits the sausage there and bounces off towards the left-hand side. So I regain the position, and we've got a bit of clean air before we catch up to the next pack. So it allows us to actually use a bit of speed and use the downforce properly. So we just saw a yellow flag. We could just see a ghost in the distance there. We're actually going to zoom in here, and unfortunately there is a tag with Key there, and Key has gone off. Norman there on the right hand side, and we get 2 for 1. Happy days indeed. Blue Racer looks like he's got a bit of damage as well as we head towards Banky Boy for the second time. I sent it down the inside here just due to that distance gain I was having there. Blue Racer gets a better exit, and I'm going to have to fall in behind. So once again, my mind is going into strategy mode. What should I do right now? The tyre wear doesn't seem that extreme at the moment on the medium tyres. I'm stuck in dirty air. I have to think of a way to get out of this situation in order to benefit myself for the rest of this race. We're already at 12 seconds behind the leaders right now. We're on the inside of Blue Racer as we go through the second corner here. We leave a bit of room on the exit there for Blue Racer, but we've gained a position. This gives us a bit of clean air, so we're going to stay out that little bit longer. There's no point coming in now. We've got a second and a half to Mario Sonic there, or 1.2 now as we continue on through. Now, Blue Racer's gone in the pits. Take note of that. Lap number 3 towards the end. Mario Sonic indicating they're going in the pits. I was like, do I stay out or come in the pits? Now, I wanted to cover Blue Racer on this one, so I come in the pits as well. And I thought, do you know what? These mediums are lasting so long. Let's go on to that softer compounder tyre. So that's what I'm doing right now. One Bull Foot the same as well behind me here as we leave the pits. And look who's alongside us right now. There's Blue Racer. So we didn't actually lose that much in the grand scheme. We did lose a little bit due to the softer compounder tyre. Now, we've got a yellow flag through Sector 1. The Adler there has had an issue. We'll check that out in the bloopers, of course, as we continue on through here. Mario Sonic looking to defend from Blue Racer, whose tyres are all warmed up, where ours aren't right now, as we continue on through there. And Mario Sonic there just loses the rear end. We gained a position. Up into P11 we go then, as we advance further on in this race and look to catch up to Blue Racer once again, going into this right-hander. Blue Racer's done the exact same. In fact, it's not the sausage, is it? It's the curb just bouncing the NSX out there. So just be careful of that curb in this race. We advance a bit further on here. Lap number 7. We've got a few other people coming out the pits. We've got Norman there, who was involved in that earlier incident here. And we look to get on the inside of Hamburger then. Can we do this as we continue on through? Just got to be careful, turning tighter than normal. We can't at the moment, but we are in the thick of the race at the moment. We have been gaining on the leaders since going onto the soft tyre, even though we've been stuck in traffic a little bit here. So we continue on through this corner. We get a good run on Norman here. So I think, do you know what? Norman hasn't been in the pits yet. I have. Let's get on the inside. Let's get this job done right now and keep up with Hamburger as we go on the inside. Do we get it stopped? We do indeed. Hamburger gets it wrong though. Did clip the sausage there. So we get a 2 for 1. We love those. 2 for 1 in terms of positions. Hockey is in the distance. It's actually accelerating away from me now, because if you look down that bottom left-hand side, the tyre wear is kicking in right now. Look at that. It's really extreme. So pitting on lap number 3. I wouldn't advise it if I was you. If you're looking to get a big track position, potentially there's an opportunity at that. But at the moment, I'm struggling. Now, the gap to the leaders is down. It is down. It was down for a while. It's starting to climb back up. They've been in the pit since. And you see Hamburg here looking to go around the outside of Banky Boy. Very hard to do. Very hard indeed. However, they just get their nose on the exit there. So I have to give some space. And that is a beautiful move there by the German driver. It really is. Well played to you, Hamburger. Well executed, and now they're on the fresher tyre. They can really start to accelerate away. And as you see here, lap number 11, we go into the S's. We've got the German driver behind here. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Apologies. Hoggy's there had an issue through the S's, so we go back up into P6, the infamous P6 position, as we head towards Banky Boy. Through there we go, and you can see that Lexus is getting very close to us now as we continue through the right-hander here and head towards the next right-hander. I'm staying on the inside line here as a defensive line. Very hard to go around the outside, and we do defend that as we continue through the next part of this corner. Effectively, a spoon curve as we continue on through there. So we advance to the final lap. Banky Boy, in we go. Can I defend this? Now, Dirty Air is saving me massively. If you look at the tyres down the bottom left-hand side, they are worn to oblivion as we head up here, going to the kink, then through the right-hander we go. They're so close. Now, I stay towards left there because I've made my move already, and they go down the inside line, and that is a beautiful attempt at a move. We go through the second corner here. They've made the move in that Lexus. However, that was 4 wheels off the circuit, so that means one thing and one thing only, and that is a 0.5 second penalty. So if I stay within the 1 second margin, remember it rounds up as we head towards the line, I should get back P6 and keeps these infamous curse there, finishing in P6. So an interesting race in terms of strategy. Don't pit on lap 3, anywhere from 4 onwards potentially, and I've given the score right there as well. Very hard to race here due to that dirty air, so you're going to have to really play about with that strategy and just try something different. That's what I would advise. Now, our brake balance is +5. You can see that in the bottom right-hand side. And as we head towards turn 1 then, the catch fence on the right-hand side, the very end of that is your brake marker. Just before you get to it, you can see I've just started braking right now as we go into this turn. Now, you can drop to first gear here if you want, if you feel like you're just outbraking yourself a little bit. I like to stay in second gear then and clip the left-hand side. We continue on then. On the right-hand side, we've got this white painted grass there. The very end of it is your brake marker for this right-hander. I highly recommend you do a very tight line for this right-hander, okay? Very tight line. If you go out wide, it just becomes laborious to do. What a word that is. So I stay in second gear then. As we accelerate, notice that I'm slowly adding to the throttle. I'm not going instantly 100% because you will spin the car. Through the left we go. Now, if you cut that corner too much on the left, it'll bounce your car out. The curbs do affect this car a little bit, so don't take too much curb. Go for a later turning. Now, on the right side, I'll highlight it there. The orange barrier going to green then is your brake mark. You want to brake before you get to the end of that, okay? And really chuck the car in here. Let the car clip the curb. Accelerate out. You can run out quite wide here. You will suffer a bit of oversteer, so just be careful of that, especially on the medium tyre. We're on the soft, of course, for the qualifying lap. We go down here then, and on the left-hand side, we go for a very late brake marker. There's a tree there next to the billboard. That is your brake marker for this right-hander. Now, of course, normally you'd brake in a straight line, but we're on a corner, so don't brake 100% here. Just look to slow the car down, or turn a little bit and then brake 100%. So notice that I turned a little bit, 100%, and then I let off straight away. Carry the momentum through that corner, and the car will just keep on going using that downforce. We head towards the S's. Now, this is a brilliant set of corners if you nail this right. So on the left-hand side, we have a catch fence there. The very end of that catch fence is your brake marker, but it's after it leaves the edge of your screen on that left-hand side. So once it's left, you dab the brakes, chuck it in, and then put your foot to the floor. That's what we're going to do right now. And notice there, look, instantly on the throttle. You can cut a lot of the inside of here then. So you can actually go on the concrete bit as well, but anything over the concrete is track limit. So make sure you cut this properly. You will see some oversteer there. If you do get this wrong, just be careful. Then over towards the left-hand side, no understeer whatsoever, and we make it through there, and we'll fast forward now towards Banky Boy. Now, for Banky Boy then, there's normally a lot of brake markers, but for this one, because we're in such high downforce car, the left-hand side, end of the wall there, is literally your brake marker. You don't need any other brake marker. Just use that, okay? Now, some of you will go, Tidge, I can brake later. You can, but you don't want to. You want to brake early for this one. Get on the inside and use the camber. Second gear is critical for the inside there. It will just settle the rear end. If you're in third gear, you'll suffer a whole load of power oversteer on exit and spin out. Second gear, very good for Banky Boy. Up here, it's flat out. No need to worry. But we head to our double right-hander, our new spoon here at Lago Maggiore. Now, the 50 board on the left-hand side or the end of the catch fence is your brake marker for this right-hander. You really do need to be last and late brakers. Once you start turning this car, all the weight is going to transition to the left-hand side of the car, so you need a smooth transition. If you straighten up the car at any point, it will just understeer off. Notice there, we're trying to carry the speed. Now, before the end of the double curb, notice it goes from double to single to no curb whatsoever. You need to be turning and have dabbed the brakes already to make sure you're off the outside of the double curb there. You're already turning into the corner. The weight should already be shifted on the left-hand side of the car, and it should just be a continuous turn there. We accelerate out of this corner. Lots of grip there available in this NSX as we head towards the final corner then. Now, for this one, you go aggressive. Go aggressive. You're going to hit the brakes and then chuck the car in. You want to abuse the curb on the inside as much as possible and put your foot to the floor, okay? You want to absolutely annihilate this one. This is the end of the lap. Chuck it in. The car will stick. Promise you that. We chuck it in. 130 mile an hour on the apex. Go out wide if you need to here on the exit. It's absolutely fine. The car will grip. We head towards the line. That's a 39.0. Still plenty of time in the lap there, but we're going to jump to some bloopers right now. And we go to Daily Race A first of all. We're on board Max Power, and I saw this and I thought, what fantastic sportsmanship. So we go into this left-hander here, and Max Power's going to accidentally clip Wolfie there. But you know what Max Power does? Waits up. Fantastic sportsmanship that we've seen many times from Max Power. Just thought I'd show that once again. What happened to Huggy then? So lap number 6 got blue flags. The leader must be close there of Kiwi. We exit the corner. We're about to go into the power band. And Huggy, I don't know if he was trying to avoid Marisonic or not, but then hits the barrier and is going to go for a bit of a spin. Just be careful if you are just doing donuts there. Yellow flag. Some people can get penalties. And it'd be unfortunate for someone to get a penalty there as we go into this left-hander. Then this is Daily Race B. We're on board Skelko. So Skelko, foot to the floor. The rear just overloads itself there, gets a bit too much wheel spin, and yeah, goes for the spin themselves, hitting the barrier. We go on board the Spanish driver then. So we saw the Spanish driver just veering to the barrier. What was the reason for it? Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. That's very common in the BMW. You do expect to see that in this particular car. It does do it in third gear on that corner and on a couple of other corners. This is me then, so going into here, couldn't have done anything else. I'm hard on the brakes then. I'm just lifted, coasting there, trying to understand where Bilson was going. Unfortunately, Bilson had nowhere to go either. The curb just bounced them back on. It's just unfortunate. I just think the penalty's a bit stupid, to be honest with you. But hey, the game does some silly things sometimes, and that is one of those things. Right, Norman, what happened to you then? This was a big old incident. So going into here, clips the grass on the inside, and goes for a spin there in the S's. So going to recover themselves. They start accelerating. They're trying to get off the racing line right now and get out of the way of everybody. And then they hit the sausage, which unfortunately pushes them back into Mario Sonic and then into Key as well. And just causes a big old crash. You know, that wasn't intentional from Norman there by any stretch of the imagination. It was just a number of incidents adding up there. What happened to the Italian? The Italian pitted, of course, lap number 1. And they did the same thing as Norman into the barrier. That's 2 for 2 then. And that's why we never saw the Italian again, because I did expect them to be far ahead of me when I came out the pits. Now, Adelaide here then, the German. Now, we saw them at the exit of turn 1 going very slowly. What was the reason for this then? So we go through here. Oh, wheel spin, wheel spin. You got to be careful applying the throttle in this NSX. You know, go 50, 75, 100 if you want to think of it that way before going straight to 100, and you should be fine. Unfortunately, there, Adelaide made that mistake on the medium tyres as well, so a little less grip than the softs. We go on board Key then as we go through the left and then go into the right. Oh, Key's done the exact same thing as Norman there into the left-hand side of the barrier, and a huge crash and spin there for Key as they spin round. And Huggy! What happened to Huggy then? Lap number 11. Going into here. Is this good? It's the same corner again. The new deadliest corner in Gran Turismo right there for you folks. Yes, it's Lago Maggiore and Group 2. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that is going to be it for me. Do check out those partners down below. Use code Tidgney at checkout at GT Amiga for that discount. And those links do give a kickback to the channel if you are looking at using those products or services. 2 videos there to check out. A big thank you as always for watching. And I do hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.